Welcome to an episode of Lingerie and Lattes, where in my work, I really have the passion to connect women and men to create foundational relationships, which means that they are long lasting, based upon steadfast, loyal love, and have the ability to really transmute our feelings for one another into something that is greater to comprehend. So, with that note, I wanted to open up today's topic around the idea of mystery and keeping that up as important. So, when we think about mystery, we want to sometimes associate that with sneakiness or hiding something from your partner, but there's a difference between being deceitful with your partner and actually leveraging mystery for more intimacy. When we think about creating mystery in the relationship, that can do with a lot of the behind the scenes hard work that goes into creating a very seamless experience for you and your partner. If you think about the idea of creating a date, that seems really simple and spontaneous, but actually there is a certain amount of thought process and work that goes into figuring out where you're going to go, what you're going to do, what you're prepping to wear, which is individual at that point. But how do you want to escort your partner to and from the event? What are you doing after? Do you have plans after? And then if you do have plans after, maybe the event is to go to a gala dinner, and then after coming home, have you thought through what are you doing at home? Maybe you want to prep something and have like a tea set, so that when you get home, it's just easy to pop it in, or maybe you already have the tea bag set up right next to the teapot so that there's water standing in your kettle and you can just turn that on and make it super simple and get back to just having a conversation with your partner. So those kinds of trains of thought in order to create seamless experiences in our relationship should be maintained as a mystery to our partners. Even though we like understand the concept that people have to think things through, such as a travel experience, you have to at least think through what bag am I going to bring to my trip. And basic questions like that can start really amounting in a relationship when we do things for another person. So there's a difference in creating a little bit of allure through keeping the cover, or let's say the curtain, over these behind the scenes moments. So for example, let's say you want to invite your partner for dinner. And first of all, you have to go shopping. You have to go grocery shopping for the ingredients. Maybe you're surprising them and you're not telling them what you're making for dinner. Maybe you want to make it like a 3 course or a 4 course. So you have to think through all of these elements. What do I want to put on the plate? What would go well together as a dessert to the main course? What's a strong appetizer that we want to open up with? Are there any beverages that I want to serve particularly at this time of the meal, and so forth? We have all of these things to think through. And keeping a cover over that, it's kind of like going on stage or going to the theater and having that back curtain hiding all of the crazy messiness that's happening of costume changes and preparations, and getting into the zone, having these exercises for your vocal cords and all of these things that actors do. So it's creating this beautiful production in your relationship. And this is not a sense of fakeness or lack of authenticity. In actuality, it's quite opposite, because you want to keep the magic of the relationship, because that's what creates also the attraction. That's what creates relaxation for the other party. And that's why it's important to switch roles, which is not to say this is something you should be always doing on your own. If you and your partner are together, you two should work on you planning a date on occasion, or them planning a date on occasion, creating dinners maybe that you want to do, and then having them take you out certain times, whatever works within your relationship as it plays out. But having that sense of I'm giving to you because I kind of know what it takes, but I don't want to know what it took in order for you to give me this amazing dinner. I just want to be wowed. That's how you have to think about it. If you're going to show up for this magical dinner at someone else's house, wouldn't you rather, in your own excitement bubble, think about what you want to wear, how you want to dress, what you're doing with your hair, what makeup style you want, and then just showing up and being so impressed that there's 4 different courses of things that perfectly match together, excite your taste palette, and create this beautiful moment for intimacy and love in your relationship, and walk away with that experience living as a story inside of you versus showing up, getting all excited, doing all the preparatory work, and then having your partner say, well, do you understand what I did in order to get here? Like, do you know how many thoughts of different cuisines I had to think through? I had to think through what your diet is and all these things. That would really drag down the entire experience into this muddy water. And I'm bringing this up because many times we do this almost unknowingly. We just want recognition. But I want to now separate this idea of recognition coming from a sense of, do you know how I've been in the trenches? That we all know. We all kind of, and if you don't, sometimes there's things that we won't understand about each other. We won't know how much it takes to maybe cook a dinner if you're the person that's always the one cooking. We don't know what it takes to fix something immediately if we're the ones fixing it immediately when something breaks down. So there are situations where we won't have access to the other person's experience, but that allows us to really check in with ourselves. So consider how how can you express yourself in a more authentic way by veiling the behind the scenes from your partner and allowing it to simply be an experience that you're both enjoying. So recognition can come from, I'm so grateful that you put in all this work in order to create this magical experience for us. I'm so thankful for the fact that you went through grocery shopping and cooking for this dinner. This tastes amazing. Just having recognition in that way is separate and whole from drawing it out from your partner and wanting it to be celebrated. Your hard work goes unnoticed because it's been so seamless. It's the same way, to me, this relates to dance. This correlates because I dance a lot in my life. And when you practice one certain technique or one certain move, when you go on stage, you're able to perform that and make it seem effortless. But that took endless in the hundreds and the tens hours of practice in order to perfect that move and make it seem so breathtaking. It's the same way in a relationship. When we come into an experience and our partner has made everything on their side in order for us to enjoy it, rather than tearing it down and just nitpicking it and setting it apart, allow yourself to be taken away by the experience and not hide, simply sheath the things that are unsightly, that are not beautiful for the moment, so that you and your partner can truly just live in the experience that you have created for this specific reason in order to enjoy it. So this is different than deceit, as I've shared, because deceit is particularly hiding something because it will hurt the other person if they have found out. If the other person finds out that you've just worked your butt off to make an amazing dinner, that's not being deceitful. That's just being pretty much kind, and not really kind, but more polite. That you are not seeking recognition, that you are not searching for acknowledgement of your work, because no one wants you to make them feel like you've done work for them and you're sour about it. Like when you show up to your relationship and you've done something for the other person, you want to show up and say, I was just so excited about this idea and I did this all for us. I hope you're enjoying this with me. I just decided to set this up. Maybe we can have a few bites, chill for a little moment, and then move it over to the couch and, start reading or whatever. So these are things that we can really draw back into our awareness and hopefully move forward in a more grounded and nourishing, loving way with our man. Thank you so much. Have an absolutely magical Friday, and I will chat with you all next week.